All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. My power happened to go out as I'm in the middle of a rainstorm right now, like a horrible one. So
Yeah.
I went out, so you might have heard a little blank space or whatever. If you're watching on YouTube, obviously we're starting it over, so it'll be a part two. But if you're listening on iTunes and anything like that, it was just a little bit of a break. But what I was talking about is my 13th for my future bet, and that's going to be the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans are in a division with Houston, who's selling away everybody, with Jacksonville, who I think may be the worst team in football, and the Indianapolis Colts, who may be good, but they have a quarterback that's going to be there for the first year. We don't know how he's going to react to the team or anything like that. So you have a team that was in the AFC Championship game last year, and they're 30-1. So at that odds, I have to jump all over the Tennessee Titans. So my three picks: Dallas Cowboys at 22-1, Pittsburgh Steelers at 28-1, and the Tennessee Titans at 30-1. And I will remind you that I hit with the Washington Nationals in baseball. I hit with everything. I hit with the KC Chiefs in football. So I'm pretty good with future bets. But with that, I'm going to send it to you for your future bets, Ray.
Hey, listen, man, and if I got to boast myself for a little bit, I did predict that Game 7 win for the Nats too. So, I mean, listen, I'm not on your level.
I picked them months ahead, but you did pick it though.
Exactly. I'm not on your level, but you know, at least I could boast a little bit though. But
yeah.
So for me, right off the bat, I'm gonna actually, agree with you with the Tennessee Titans, only because they did get to the championship game, the AFC Championship game. Very well balanced team. Probably missing a couple of pieces on defense, mainly pass rushers.
Yeah.
Again, if you guys could get some solid pass rushers, I think you guys would be so balanced in all aspects of the team that you guys could have a legitimate shot to get to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. And again, you said those odds, which were what, plus 3,000. Exactly, 3-1. So to me,
30-1.
30-1. Yeah, I would hop all over that. The other team too, despite the for the NFC Championship, despite how the draft went and how they might be portraying it as being toxic, I think Green Bay has a solid shot to get to the NFC Championship. They made it last year, So they're there. It's not like they can't.
Can y'all get some Aaron Rodgers some help though, man? Give him a wide receiver, man. Damn.
Yeah, it sucks. Again, that's a different topic for a different day. Yeah. And I know the draft day kind of put a lot of things into perspective. But with that being said, I still think they're a legitimate threat to anybody in the NFC. And if they could just work on a couple of certain things and certain mistakes that they're so used to doing, I think they could get to a Super Bowl as well. And again, when you got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, he could definitely make it happen. Yep. And then the other team too, the odds aren't crazy. They're plus 900, but I'm gonna have to go San Francisco from the NFC.
Okay.
Again, another very well balanced team, and obviously, I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl. They had a good lead against Kansas City, but everybody knows when Kansas City starts firing off on all cylinders, it's very hard to slow down. Doesn't matter how good your defense is. And
run the ball, Shanahan. Run the ball, man. Damn.
Exactly. I mean, listen, they literally had the Super Bowl in their back pocket. Now, this might come to bite me in the future because we know how good those Super Bowl hangovers are.
Yeah.
But San Francisco is into LA Rams. I think they're gonna come back and have another good season. They got a good quarterback in Jimmy G, and I think that with those odds, to me, it's safe bet.
That's a tough division this year.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hey, listen, I almost picked Arizona. Personally, I'm looking forward to. I mean, I know we're not talking about it though, but if I had to pick a team that I'm looking forward to the most, is Arizona. To see how Kyle Murray does the second year, especially with the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. In my opinion, the best wide receiver in the game.
I agree.
It's gonna be insane.
You got them. You got obviously Seattle's over there with Russell Wilson. You got Garoppolo. And it's just one of those divisions that is going to be from top to bottom. It's just really tight. Even mentioning the Rams were in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So you got a team that's just stacked. Like it's going to be hell to get through that division.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we want as fans. That's what we want, competitiveness.
But just like you said that you were good with predicting, I've been good with predicting. We also picked the winners of the Royal Rumble. You picked
Ooh,
Shane to win. I picked McIntyre to win the men's.
I picked Charlotte Flair.
Said, one of the things that we want to start getting into a little bit more while there's not much sports going on is a little bit more WWE, and we can fit AEW and NXT and all that stuff in there. But this weekend, the Money in the Bank. And I actually consider this, I know it's not really in the main 4 pay-per-views. I consider it probably the 3rd best pay-per-view.
It's becoming, you know what?
Because you got, in my opinion, number 1 is the Royal Rumble. Because Royal Rumble is the most fun. That's when they bring the surprises out and everything like that. Then obviously it's WrestleMania because that's the big matches, but it's more of like a reward for what you've done all year. I think Money in the Bank is number 3. The reason why I think it's number 3 is, 1, is usually pretty good matches, but the main thing is that whoever wins the Money in the Bank match is about a 90% chance they will be the new heavyweight champion. And that means that is the person that they are giving the push to for the next, 6 months. So it's so big to win that one match that I think, and the match is usually a really good match, I think it's elevated the Money in the Bank to the 3rd best pay-per-view. What do you think, bro?
I agree. Personally, in my opinion, I think Money in the Bank is right up there alongside the Survivor Series, the Royal Rumbles, the WrestleManias, the SummerSlam. To me, those are my top 4 pay-per-views of the year.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Money in the Bank, it sets up prospects, heels, faces, to make a name for themselves. And it gives them an opportunity to elevate the career and skyrocket it. Now, we've seen the ball drop on some of these briefcases.
Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3 times that they've lost. That's it.
But the majority of the time, we've seen a career skyrocket because of it. And one that comes to mind is Edge.
Yeah. That was one that came to my mind. Is probably one of the biggest pops you will hear for all the Money in the Bank cash-ins is Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, the night after WrestleMania, cashed in his Money in the Bank and on Roberto Del Rio, and the crowd went completely nuts. Like that's
one. Oh, yeah, AJ Lee. AJ.
Yep, AJ
and Big E.
AJ and Big E came down to the ring with him, and people don't even notice this. After he won the title, if you look at AJ Lee's face, her face is in shock of how loud the crowd is. The crowd is so loud that you can hear her almost grabbing her head. That's how loud they were.
And it was the Raw after WrestleMania too.
Yeah, it was. So it was just, that crowd is already the best crowd of the year. If you could ever go to the Raw after WrestleMania is almost as good as WrestleMania. That's how good it is.
Is that your favorite cash-in?
Yeah, I think that's well, I'm not even gonna say that. There's a lot of cash-ins I like. I like the Edge one that you said. I like the Dolph Ziggler. The thing about it is that every time that as long as they hold a briefcase, that's why I like when they actually hold it a long time. Is as long as you hold that briefcase, you're always waiting for that song to pop. Every event you go to, this could happen. It could happen. Yes. So it's always so awesome when somebody is just holding it. I think the best times to do it is either you wait till Monday Night Raw when nobody's expecting it after a pay-per-view, or the same night, like Alexa Bliss did. Same night, I'm like, holy she was in the championship match and she walks out that night as a champion. So I think those are the best 2 times to cash in the same night, or wait a long time where it's unexpected.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of, the top 2 that stick out to me was one, Edge. I hated Edge at that time because I remember when he came out, Cena had just went through a gruesome, ugly Elimination Chamber match. And this was back then when they were able to show blood on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
John Cena was busted. And then when I saw Edge come out with the briefcase and Mr. McMahon, dude, my stomach dropped. And Edge just came out there and took care of business. The second one that came out to me, that pops up to me, is the CM Punk one. Yeah. When Batista destroyed Edge.
Yeah.
And I remember Edge had just got drafted to Raw. And he was boasting about how he's going to take the titles and all that. He's going to keep all titles.
Yep.
Batista destroyed him, and then but this was a straight edge Punk, by the way.
It was. Yeah.
So I remember he came out, a young prospect, came out with the referee and took care of business. Dude, the pop was insane, and you saw the emotions of seeing Punk's face too.
Yeah.
And he finally got that push.
I really, and even if you look at the recent one, we just started having women's Money in the Bank, and you saw Carmella win it. So even to give her a push, you never really know who they're going to give the push to, which is the best part about that. So with that said, we got 6 matches that night. I'm going to start off with the match. There's 2 matches that I think are kind of lower tier compared to the other ones, even though every match is involving a championship or involving winning the chance to win a championship. So the first match I'm going to start off with is the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team. The New Day, who are obviously the champions with Big E and Kofi, Miz and Morrison, the Forgotten Sons, who recently just came up a couple weeks ago from NXT, and Pusha House Party. What do you think happens, Dre?
In my opinion, I think the logical answer is New Day retains.
Yeah.
They just got the title not too long ago.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to drop the titles, the only team I would not mind them dropping it to would be Miz and Morrison. Because to me, they've been entertaining. I like them. They're a good tag team. Yeah. I hope that sticks around for a little while because they've been entertaining though. But my pick, I'm gonna go with New Day. Like I said, the logical. They just won the title, so I think they're gonna have I'll say a lengthy run, but they won't lose it at Money in the Bank, in my opinion.
I mean, now they're the 8-time tag team champions. There's one team that's a couple title reigns behind them, and they're not in this match. So I think the New Day is going to hold on to that and then eventually have a tag match against that team, the Usos, and they've had probably one of the best rivalries in the tag team sport. So I think the New Day is going to also retain the top belts. Other championship match for the women's championship: Bayley versus Tamina. Listen. I understand what they're doing with Bayley. They're getting the long run, the long push. I'm just not a big fan of her, but I don't see Tamina being the one to take it from her. I mean, if they do, I'll be a little shocked and maybe a little happy about it, but I got to think Bayley retains the belt here. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think Bayley retains. Tamina, honestly, again, I have a hard time seeing her win the championship, but the main reason I'm leaning towards Bayley, I'm picking Bayley is because I think they're going to try to set her up against Sasha Banks at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And obviously now would be the wrong time it'll just throw things way off.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Bayley's winning this one for sure.
All right, so now the next match is actually a little bit weird where I'm not completely sure which way I should really go. I have my pick, but I'm not confident about it.
I'll go first, yeah. Oh, wait, which one is this one?
Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay.
So I'll let you pick first, and then I'll give my reasons.
I'm going to say Drew retains. Mm-hmm. Now, Drew's going to retain, but I think there's probably going to be like a screwy finish where they're just going to drag this feud. I could see like a DQ on Seth Rollins' part.
Yeah.
Where obviously like he'll stand tall, but Drew McIntyre retains or whatever though, but I don't see titles swapping hands. I think Drew McIntyre retains this one.
I honestly, I can see, obviously they love Seth Rollins. He's the face of Monday Night Raw, and I can see them giving him the title. However, Drew just got his title at WrestleMania. This was his reward for what he's done all year, and he's been great all year. I don't see them immediately letting somebody else take the title from him immediately. I think it's one of those things where, like you said, maybe a disqualification or something like that. And I think they'll fight again, maybe by SummerSlam, and then Seth will beat him. But I think they have to give McIntyre at least a little bit of a reign where he's not going to give away the belt a month away from WrestleMania where he just won it. So I'm gonna also go with Drew McIntyre. We gotta find something to disagree on, man.
Okay, yeah, I know. Well, it's a little bit. You know what? The matches we're talking about are kind of predictable, again, but it's WWE, so we could be wrong.
All right, I have a feeling we're going to disagree a little bit here. So this match is going to be the other big title match as the Wyatt family reunion has happened. We got Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. So, and they didn't say actually the Fiend. They said Bray Wyatt. So that's
Mr. Rogers.
That's the one that's a little, you always got to look for that. So what do you think happens in that one, Dre?
All right, so this was very interesting. At first, I was leaning towards Bray Wyatt because he just got the title, right?
Yeah.
He just beat Goldberg. But I
What do you mean to Braun, you mean?
Braun, right?
Yeah. You said Bray.
Bray. Oh, Braun, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Braun just won the title, and I wasn't going to lean towards him, but I'm going to have to say Bray Wyatt, Mr. Rogers, take this one. The reason I think he takes this one, again, maybe I'm overthinking it, is just because Braun Strowman wasn't supposed to win the title. The reason he won the title was because Roman Reigns backed out.
Yeah, he's a fill-in.
So the WWE probably had different plans for Braun Strowman. In my opinion, I think they dropped the ball with him, And right now, Bray Wyatt is hot. Whether it's Mr. Rogers or The Fiend or whoever, he's hot right now.
Yeah.
I think they realized they dropped the ball with him. Well, they didn't drop the ball with The Fiend, but
I think they did a little bit.
a little bit, but they picked it back up at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't think they could afford to screw it up twice. I think that they should put the title on Mr. Rogers. I wouldn't be surprised if Braun wins and then The Fiend appears and then they'll drag that out. Whereas Braun Strowman versus The Fiend later on in the future. But I think Bray Wyatt wins the title on Sunday.
I think the reason why I'm going to disagree and go with Braun here is just because they haven't said it's The Fiend. I think The Fiend is one of those guys where I think he would be able to beat Braun Strowman. I don't think Mr. Rogers can beat Braun Strowman. And I think that this is where Braun may flex his muscles a little bit. And then kind of like what I said with the Drew and Seth, maybe the next pay-per-view he'll come back as The Fiend and he'll win the title.
I can see that.
Yeah, but I think with him, it's just normal. Bray Wyatt, I have to think that Braun Strowman keeps the title. But like you said, like you said, Braun Strowman was not supposed to be the champion, so they may decide to take it away from him. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But I think they're going to give him maybe one more pay-per-view before that does happen.
Yep.
So now, the two big matches of the night. We got about 9 minutes to go. So this is the big one. I'm going to start off with the men's.
Pete, now let me ask you. Do you want to give one pick per gender, or do you want to do like two picks, like your first and second option?
Nah, we don't get one.
One, all right.
Yeah, because with Royal Rumble, we had 30 people to pick from. We had to pick at least more than one person. But this, we only got 6 people in each match, so we got to get one. So, men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Climbing the corporate ladder. We got Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, King Corbin, Otis, and AJ Styles. What do you think happens, Ray?
I think for the men's, AJ Styles wins the Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
Real quick, the reason for that is because not only is he an amazing heel, I think he'll be able to elevate Drew McIntyre in the near future if he wins the title, the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
And obviously, if he wins, he's gonna end up feuding with him anyways. I think that'll help Drew McIntyre a lot. AJ doesn't need the title, but obviously that Drew McIntyre needs that dancing partner. Now that Roman Reigns is gone, Brock Lesnar's nowhere to be found. I think AJ Styles is that next person, in my opinion, that can help Drew McIntyre. And plus, he's a great heel. So right now, I think a great heel would be entertaining to hold the briefcase. So I'm going to have to go with AJ Styles in this one.
This match actually has a lot of people I think can take it. I don't think Rey Mysterio is that type of person because I don't think he really should get a title at his age. He's almost in retirement. Otis, I don't think is fit for that. He's still feuding back and forth with the Mandy situation and golf and everything. So I don't see it. AJ entered the last second, so I can see it possibly going to him.
He just won the gauntlet match too, so he looked pretty good.
Yeah, and King Corbin is the ultimate heel. So I can see them doing it because it's a great when the heel has it. I love it when a heel has the Money in the Bank. So I would
do it now. Pull the trigger on King Corbin.
I would love King Corbin to be the person. So I will be very excited if King Corbin won it, but I don't think he's going to win it. I was pretty much down to 2 people, Daniel Bryan and Aleister Black. And I was with Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan has it. He is, he can wrestle. He can talk on the mic. He can do everything. So Daniel Bryan was my guy. But I just have a funny feeling that this is the time that they push Aleister Black. They've been putting him against the no-names that had them beat him. They've had him against some superstars. They had him against AJ Styles. They had him against top people, and he still won matches. You don't really know. There's no significant reason that you've seen Aleister Black, get a setback. A lot of times when they try to push somebody, something will happen, and then all of a sudden there'll be a setback. They lose a match, whatever. You haven't seen that with Aleister Black. I think this is the perfect time to put Aleister Black in the forefront. I think they've been prepping him for this. And I think as soon as you see a match later on, maybe 6 months later, and then you just hear the song come on and you see him come up from the stage and everybody will go nuts and he wins the title, I think that'll be a perfect scenario. So
that would have been my second pick, by the way, too, because I agree with you. Now's the time. In my opinion, now's the time for Aleister Black to win. If he does it, obviously, just give it a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But I would not be mad at all if Aleister Black wins this.
So now we move on to the women's Money in the Bank. And I think this is also very, very interesting. You got Asuka. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. I want to get out of the way and say I do not think Carmella's going to win it again. So
No.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't even know why. I think Dana Brooke is in there kind of like Otis is in there with the men's, just as an extra person. So I don't think she really has a chance. Maybe you think differently. Lacey Evans is somebody who I think does have a legit chance. However, they've given her a couple title shots. I just don't see her really doing it right now. Nia Jax is somebody that's interesting because Nia Jax is just coming back off an injury. They got her a couple light press work, and you can see her cashing in to win the title. So that one is one that would probably be my second pick. Then you got Asuka and Shayna Baszler. Asuka is a person that I think deserves it. I think they've screwed her a couple times, but they just seem to disrespect her so many times that I just don't see them giving to her. I think this is going to be Shayna Baszler, and she's going to cash in on Becky to get pretty much payback for losing the WrestleMania match. So I'm going with Shayna Baszler. What do you think?
It's funny because my second pick is your number one pick, Shayna Baszler.
Again?
That's my second pick. And my first pick is your second pick, Asuka. So I'm going to go – it's funny with the same thing with the men's, but with Asuka, I just think right now it's weird, right? So with everything going on, right, empty arenas, Asuka's been entertaining.
Yes, she has.
She's been so entertaining, and I don't know what it was, maybe the crowd or just so much pressure or a lot of things happening at once.
Yeah.
But without the crowd, I think WWE creative has allowed to think more outside the box and allowed Asuka to be her own character.
Yeah.
Dude, she's been so entertaining.
They haven't tried to change her. Like I remember they tried to make her speak more English and everything.
Right.
They haven't tried to change her, and it's been awesome. Like
I loved it, dude. I love the way I love the direction Asuka's going in.
Yeah. And
maybe I'm thinking, with my gut feeling and not my brain, but I'm gonna go Asuka in this one.
I just didn't like them. I didn't like them the build up that they had with Asuka for Becky Lynch, and then all of a sudden she loses. I'm like, this is the one person that Becky Lynch can't beat. This was her white elephant, and
she just beat her. She just beat her.
I didn't understand that, so I don't know. But maybe like how I had Shayna, maybe getting her revenge, maybe that'll be Asuka's revenge also. So I completely agree. It's gonna be awesome. Listen, I have to give it to WWE. They've put on some good shows on a weekly basis as well as their pay-per-view for WrestleMania. It was much better than I thought it would have, and I have to give my hats off to them. I definitely will be watching Money in the Bank this weekend, and it's gonna be. I think it'll be fun. Well, what do you think?
It's gonna be fun because we know it's gonna be a theatric one. Because think about it, the briefcase is gonna be over headquarters.
Yeah.
So you know there's gonna be a lot of stunts. We saw the graveyard the graveyard match between AJ. That was a great match. The Firefly Funhouse was an amazing match.
Yes. It's gonna be awesome. I want to see somebody get tossed over the side. Yeah.
Hey, listen. Somebody has to get thrown off the building. I want to see that. I want to see somebody hanging off the side of the building. You just see like their hands just holding on to the side, and then all of a sudden, everybody thinks the match is over, and they come up and they come back and win the title. They win the briefcase. Well, one thing I know for sure is that this match is already pre-recorded. From my understanding, the matches at the performance center will be live.
Yeah.
But the actual Money in the Bank matches, and it's gonna be simultaneously. So the Money in the Bank women's and men's match is gonna be happening at the same time.
Yeah, so, that's the craziest part about it. So I just can't wait. That's gonna be nuts to see that.
Yeah, guy. Yeah. So look, WWE has an opportunity to not just be entertaining, but think outside the box. And we know they could do that because we've seen it already at WrestleMania. If they do it again, I think that they could get out of this hole that they're unfortunately in because their viewership is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
It's not just them; it's also AEW.
Yeah.
But I think that if they could think outside the box and make something fun happen, they could definitely get things going again.
Listen, sport. Like I've already said, we talked about football. I think boxing, MMA. Those are sports that can go without fans, and it won't really bother much people. I think WWE and AEW without fans does bother people. I think you need the energy of the crowd. You want people chanting. That helps you get into it. You want the pop when something happens or somebody comes back. You're not getting that right now. And then people just watching that are pure wrestling fans and want to see people wrestle. So I think that's going to kill the viewership. But with that said, before Zoom cuts us off, we want to just thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for listening on Spotify and on iTunes and everything. And like I said, we're going to try to do this a little bit more often and talk about more of the wrestling or whatever is on and try to help you out guys with future bets, whatever is out. So with that said, I'm Peter Soprano, D Money Drizzy Dre, and we'll see you guys hopefully next week, guys.
Peace. Yo, Big P, peace. People, take care.
All right.